Hello guys, welcome to our channel Book Summary House. Today we are going to look at an interesting summary. It is about the book Das Kapital by Karl Marx. Das Kapital is Karl Marx's major work of political economy published in 1867. The book analyzes how capitalism works, how wealth is produced, and why capitalism leads to inequality and exploitation. Marx's central aim is not just to describe capitalism, but to critique it and reveal its internal contradictions. Marx begins by analyzing the commodity, the basic units of capitalism. Every commodity has two kinds of value: use value, which is its practical usefulness, and exchange value, which is what it can be traded for in the market. Under capitalism, exchange value dominates and social relationships between people appear as relationships between things, a phenomenon Marx calls commodity fetishism. Marx argues that the value of commodities comes from human labor. This is known as the labor theory of value. However, workers do not receive the full value of what they produce. Instead, they sell their labor power to capitalists for wages, just enough to survive. The difference between the value workers create and wages they are paid is called surplus value. The surplus value, this is the source of profit. According to Marx, exploitation is not accidental or immoral behavior by individual capitalists. It is built into capitalist system. Capitalists must extract surplus value to survive in competition with other capitalists. They do this by extending working hours, increasing productivity, or lowering wages. Marx explains the process of production in capitalism by distinguishing between constant capital, machines, tools, raw materials, and variable capital. Only labor creates new value, while machines merely transfer their existing value to products. This explains why workers, not machines, are the true source of profit. Marx also examines working conditions under capitalism, describing long hours, child labor, and dangerous factories during the Industrial Revolution. He shows how capitalism treats workers as commodities and leads to alienation. Workers are separated from the product of their labor. The labor process their fellow workers and their own human potential. Another key concept is the accumulation of capital. Capitalists reinvest surplus value to expand production, which leads to greater concentration of wealth in fewer hands. Small capitalists are driven out, while larger corporations grow stronger. This creates increasing inequality and instability. Marx discusses primitive accumulation, the historical process that created capitalism. He argues that capitalism did not emerge peacefully but through violence, colonization, land theft, and forced displacement of peasants, especially in Europe. The book also explores crisis of capitalism. Marx argues that capitalism is prone to periodic economic crisis due to overproduction, falling rates of profit, and contradictions between production and consumption. These crises cause unemployment, poverty, and social unrest. In the later section, Marx analyzes wages, profits, and rent, showing how surplus value is distributed among capitalists, landlords, and financiers. Despite differences among these groups, they all benefit from the exploitation of labor. Marx concludes that capitalism contains the seeds of its own destruction. As workers become increasingly exploited and alienated, they develop class consciousness, awareness of their shared condition. This awareness, Marx argues, will eventually lead to collective action and overthrow of capitalism, paving the way for socialism and communism, where production is organized for human need rather than profit. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to our channel for more interesting books and please press the bell icon.